This is News Today. My name is Kemini Nyamani Amano. In our first story, Polytechnic teachers of the Central Region have been questioning why their August salary have not been released to them. POTEC, until recently, were on a strike over book and research allowances. The POTEC members of the Central Regional Capital, Cape Coast, have been addressing the press over this. Richard Kojo Inyako is our correspondent in that region, and has joined me over the telephone with some updates. Thank you very much, Richard, for your time. What more have they been saying?
Well, according to the Polytechnic lecturers, per the MOU or the MOU, they are expected to have their salaries in their bank account, but checks have revealed that their August salary is not in their account. School has resumed and life is returning to normal at the Cape Coast Polytechnic here, and the students are trickling in their numbers. So this morning, the Polytechnic teachers have organized a press conference to state their position and to threaten government that they will embark on a strike action if by Friday their salaries have not been released to them. I have with me the president of the Polytechnic branch of Cape Coast Polytechnic. Good morning.
Good morning.
What exactly are your concerns?
Thank you very much. In fact, after the sign of the MOU with the government, the aftermath, development, we are not happy, and that has to do with our August salary. As I speak with you, up to now, our members are unable to access their August salary, and in fact, it is creating a whole lot of inconvenience for the lecturers because, we strongly believe that we have worked for it, and we see no reason why the government, for that matter, decide, to delay us in accessing our August salary.
Can you question from your employers why they have not released your salary?
In fact, we have done a lot of checks. We had a call even to call the labor minister. We had a call even to call the education minister. In fact, they keep on giving us assurances that we have never in any way put any freeze on our salary. So we also ask them, so why is it up to now we are unable to access our salary? And for this, I speak with you, they are finding very difficult to give us an answer. And for that matter, we were compelled to have an emergency meeting to just resolve that if by Friday we are unable to access our August salary, then we are going to advise ourselves.
Well, Kamini,
Richard, I have a question for him, though. It's only September 2. One would imagine they would have the patience, perhaps till the end of the week, like he said, before blowing off the steam like this.
Well, according to them, by the end of the month, they always get their salaries by the end of the month. But let me put the question to him. Wouldn't you rather have the patience to wait a little bit longer because the month just came to an end?
An end?
In fact, that would be very difficult because, we have two categories here. We have the teaching staff and non-teaching staff. And as I speak with you, the non-teaching staff will be able to access their salary. And it gives an indication that we have to get worried. Because how come that, the non-teaching staff are able to access their salary and then the teaching staff are unable? For us, it's a breach of trust. And for that matter, the government is not actually,
how is that
in a good state the way we expected, the government to actually
how is that breach?
The MOU.
Hasn't that happened before that the non-teaching staff will receive their salaries and you people would not have received your salary? It has never happened in the history of the Polytechnic ever since I joined 9 years ago. So we find it strange, and clearly it's a situation I will describe as a podi breach of trust on the part of the government. Thank you very much.
Richard,
so you heard me speak with Mr. Isaac Adrifin.
Is Isaac still around you?
Yeah, Isaac is still around with me here.
But I'm wondering how that is breach of trust. If the month just came to an end and non-teaching staff have started receiving their salary, it's only indication rather that it is progressively being paid.
Well, according to Isaac and the explanation he is given, every month the Polytechnic teachers and the non-teaching staff receive their salaries at the same time, the same day. If it comes at the 31st, they all receive their salaries. And so that is where the suspicion lies that if the non-teaching staff have been paid, then there is some indication that there is something fishy that is going on.
He also mentioned an MOU with government. Which MOU concerning salaries did they sign with government?
Well, so which MOU concerning salaries did you have with them? Honestly, with the MOU that we signed has nothing to do with the salary. That has to do with what book and research allowance. We come to some conclusion yet. Or with the book and research allowance, the resolution is so clear that they said by the, they will start paying half of it, and by the end of the fiscal year 2014, all their book and research allowance will be paid. So for now, that is not the bone of contention. The bone of contention now is our August salary, which we are unable to assess.
Okay. So
Isaac, one last question for Isaac. Are you not just fomenting trouble for trouble's sake?
Well, are you not fomenting trouble by raising all of these issues when the man barely came to an end? You see, that is not the issue, because we actually, have the student at heart, and we thought that we all signed this MOU on good faith, and we expect that at least government will also do due diligence. But you see, after signing the MOU, for members to return to lecture hall to realize that they are unable to assess their, salary for that matter, August, then of course it's something that we should rather put the blame on the government. Instead, the act of the government is creating unnecessary tension that could lead to certain consequences.
I
for
see.
That matter, we are not in any position creating any war. That is why we are putting government on notice that they should try as much as possible, as a matter of agency, by Friday, we should be able to assess our August war.
Kamini, a reminder, the Polytechnic students are expected to start the exams Monday, the 8th of this month, and the students are still trickling in their numbers. And so that was Isaac Igrave Finn for you, the president of the Cape Coast Polytechnic branch of the POTA for you.
Thank you very much, Richard, for that update. Absolutely fantastic there. Meanwhile, 3 polytechnics, the Takoradi, Ho and Sunyang, have called students back to school after the almost 4-month strike over book and research allowance arrears. The Polytechnic Teachers Association of Ghana, you recall last week, called off the strike after reaching an agreement with Employment Ministry. The decision follows government's assurance to pay POTAG its 2013-2014 book and research allowance next month, this month that is. Members of POTAG have been on strike since May 15 this year over the non-payment of their book and research allowances since 2013. Kwame Amponsah Menu is coordinating secretary for the Ghana National Union of Polytechnic Students. Kwame, you're welcome to the program.
Good afternoon, Kevin.
Absolutely. Now, just before we talk about the reopening of polytechnics, what exactly does Genobes think about what's happening in Cape Coast at the moment at the Polytechnic in that part of the country?
Well, thank you very much. With the issue of the August salary not being paid, we have stated that in the thinking of Genobes, we saw it to be a negotiation tactic that government wanted to use. You will recall that since the strike began, the only stakeholder as far as polytechnic education was concerned that was not suffering any direct losses was POTAG. And so we saw it to be a tactic of government to withhold the August salary so that all parties are losing. So the need then becomes that let's all go and negotiate in good faith to avert the losses that is coming onto all the parties, including the students. And so the delayance, for us, so long as we have not gotten any confirmation from the outfit of government that indeed the salaries have been freezed and it is not going to be paid to them, we deem it a delayance of the August salary due to the protracted strike. But it was also a tool to get the strike matter resolved. So we call it a delayance at the moment, unless government comes out officially today or tomorrow or in the future to say that they are not going to pay the August salary. We won't be able to take a position on it for now.
I see. On the brighter side, though, we understand 3 polytechnics have recalled students. That definitely is good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a very good news. The information we have picked from our local secretariats indicate that the institutions like Accra Poly, Cape Coast Poly, Koforidua, Sunyani, and Takrade have resumed academics. Poly has invited its students to report on Friday, which is 5th September, and academics begin on 8th. Kumasi Polytechnic is having an emergency academic board meeting tomorrow, God willing, to decide on the date on which they have to call the students back. So things are back to normal, and we are happy for the current situation. The problem we are facing now is about the accommodation. You know, information reaching us is that places like Takrade, the landlords are charging exorbitant prices for the 1 month stay that the students are coming to write the exam. So we are still in talks with them, while their counterparts in other regions have agreed to give to the students a 1 month extension gratis. Takrade and others are charging exorbitant prices for the 1 month. So we are still working that out so that our students will have the peace of mind to study and write the exam.
A lot has been lost already due to the strike by the lecturers in the Polytechnic, in our Polytechnic institutions. What should students expect going back to school now?
Well, the difficulty now, amidst all the losses we have made, the difficulty now is that schools like Cape Coast Polytechnic that was just reported that exam begins on 8th of this month. The problem is the interval between the papers is so close. A student will have to sit for paper today, tomorrow sit for another one. And we felt it would be good that they gave the students ample time to prepare for the papers, because they have been made to stay home, and when the groups were not coming, most of them put their books aside because they had lost confidence. And so we are still in talks with management so that if they can restructure the timetable to go. That is one difficulty we foresee, that a lot of pressure will be on the students. But nonetheless, Kemini, it is better than previous.
Thank you very much for your time. And Ponsamenu is with Genoops. In a bit, we should raise the Ministry of Education over the phone. And while light shines on some polytechnics across the country as students go back, it's not the same at the Cape Coast Polytechnic, where their lecturers are breathing fire over unpaid August salaries. We'll find out what the Education Ministry intends to do about this. Meanwhile, Educationist Michael Nsoa is asking for a holistic approach to dealing with the fallen standards of education in Ghana. His comments come on the back of a new survey that has also revealed that 98% of primary pupils in basic schools can neither read nor understand English nor any Ghanaian language properly. This was published in the National Education Assessment Report. A survey was carried out by the Assessment Services Unit of the Ghana Education Service with support from the Research Triangle International.
The problem is there because we think the teacher can do everything. But even from the Global Monetary Report, they are insisting that when the teacher leaves the classroom, leaves the college, that teacher must continuously be supported to do this for a way.
Okay, so let's look at what government has done before over the time to correct this. Considering you being at the GES before, you were former Director General. Tell us some of the interventions government has put in place in this regard.
Oh, currently, let me speak at the current of it. They have the NALA, which is has to do with the language, intervention program, which is going out throughout the country. And I am sure some of the assessment was done because of this program, so that they will know what to do. Now, the interventions, of course, the main intervention has always to ensure that the children have the books that they will need to continue to revise when they are out of, they are not in school, that is when they go home.
Attention to health now, where 25 new cases of cholera have been recorded in the Ketu North District in the Volta region. Health officials in that area are deeply worried about the trend. Richard Gohoho is the disease control officer in the area, and he's joined me over the telephone. Let's talk about the Ketu North outbreak over the next few minutes. Richard, you're welcome to the program. Hello, Richard.
Hello.
Richard, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you, but I am Christian. Go, not Richard, please.
I'm sorry about that, Christian. Right.
Yes, I'm grateful.
Christian, what more can you tell us about the situation in Ketu North?
I'm grateful. We had a total of 25 cases, including the first case that came to attention in July ending. So as at yesterday, we had a total of 25 cases in all. Yes, thank you.
Now, what has the disease control unit identified as the cause for the spread?
Yeah, I'm grateful. We realize that the majority of the cases that we have seen travel to outside the district. Yeah, when we conducted the interview, we realized that they travel to somewhere, majority of them travel to Accra. That's what we've noticed during the investigation. Thank you.
I see. And so what are you doing about it?
Yeah, currently, we are doing health education in the district through the radios. We have 2 radio stations in the district. We also task our health workers in the various communities to conduct health education, especially at public gatherings such as funerals, and monitor any diarrhea cases that may be coming to those areas. We also had a program with the environmental health unit in the district, which is helping us in the sanitary situation in the district. Then the other thing we are also doing is we are giving out prophylaxis treatment to all the contacts that came to the cases. That's what we are doing in the district now.
How has that worked out so far? Because we are still recording the numbers.
Yeah, it has actually worked out because when we had the index case, from July ending up to today, up to yesterday, we had a total of 25 cases. Has actually brought down the rate of the disease in the district. So it is actually working out perfectly. And we believe we will surely reduce it further.
Christian, thank you very much for your time. Christian Gohoho is the disease control officer in the Ketu North area.